about it like this. The job you work at, somebody started that company. Somebody started that business. If you want to be that person to start it, why can't it be you? Here with the K comes you guys with a really exciting series. So if you're new to my channel, hello, hi, welcome. I hope you stay a while. Definitely leave me some comments below if you're new. I would love to know. So, who am I and what am I here to talk about? My name is Kameron and I'm a licensed attorney. I'm an influencer, content creator, as well as an entrepreneur. I've recently left my 9-to-5 law firm job to go 100% full force, full time in my own business ventures. I'm super excited, but fun fact, I've actually had my Kameron Monet LLC since 2018, so I'm not new to the business game. I'm just now turning my side hustle into my main hustle, as I like to say. So if you're interested in doing the same, or maybe you want to make sure your side hustle is run properly as a business, so if you decide to make that leap of faith, you already have all the systems and set up in place, then this is going to be the series for you. So of course, as a licensed attorney, I will be putting a lawyer twist on every single video you all will see. So between today, Sunday, November 1st, and November 7th, I will be uploading a video every single day in the Entrepreneurship series. So today's video is just going to be the intro part of the video where we're going to talk about why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Is entrepreneurship right for you? I think a lot of us, when we think of an entrepreneur, we think of this dream world. They get to make all this money. They have all the time in the world to do whatever they want. They can schedule everything themselves, and all of that can be true. But there's the behind the scenes, the nitty-gritty things that a lot of us don't think about until we're all in the game, okay? Because I can say for myself, sis, I'm loving every day. I'm loving every minute of it. It's great, but it is still work. I find myself working just as hard, if not more hours right now in the beginning phases of my business, because I'm still figuring out how do I schedule things. I don't have a set time for anything like I did in my 9-to-5. Like I knew I had to be here at this time and here at this time. So yes, there's ways to incorporate throughout your business, which we will talk about in other videos, how to set your schedule, how to have those deadlines, how to have those guidelines, and to kind of create a 9-to-5 structure within your business. Because that's the goal. As a CEO, founder of your company, yes sis, you're a CEO, act like it, okay? We're going to talk about that in another video. But as a CEO, you want to be able to work efficiently and effectively and productively, and that doesn't always mean you need to work 20 hours in one day. Sometimes working efficiently is getting the right sleep, is scheduling specific times for specific things, and shutting everything down at 5. It all depends on the business, and of course there will be those hard days, because that's the same with a 9-to-5. For me, coming from working at a law firm, it was more like an on-call kind of thing. Like, of course, there were days where, okay, I for sure could take off, I could do whatever on the weekends, but like a lot of the times, constantly thinking of the laws and trying to stay up to date and all those things, which you do also as a CEO. For instance, as a content creator, social media is always changing. As an influencer, my audience wants to be engaged, so I have to be able to be accessible to a certain extent throughout the day. But there still are ways to schedule and make the parameters around that. But in your business, when you're starting out, you have to consider these things. Is that something that I'm willing to do? Am I willing to put in the work? Am I willing to make the sacrifices necessary to grow my business? Because the beginning phases, listen, that's the leg work, that's the grunt work, that's the hard part, but it's worth it. It's really worth it if that's something that you desire. And I'm going to say this, 9-to-5 life is fine. It's great. It's amazing. There are so many benefits. Don't feel like everyone's becoming an entrepreneur, everyone's starting a business, I need to do that. If that's not something you want, sis, bro, that is perfectly fine. It is not for everyone. It is not for everyone. And I mean that in a positive way. I promise you. You're doing fine. If you love your job, stick it out. Climb that corporate ladder. Make that money. Have your healthcare benefits, because I'm back. And I say all this to say, once you know your why, it really does help when it comes to those very difficult days where you may not feel productive, or you feel distracted, or you're not sure if this is something that you want to do. You have your why. Take notes, start a journal. I know it's like the cheesy thing to say, but seriously, write in your journal right now, day 1 of my entrepreneurship journey. Even if you haven't started a business, even if you don't even know what the business would be about, start now. If you have that desire, run with it. Just start to take notes. You never know where that may take you. You never know what may spark an amazing business. Think about it like this. The job you work at, somebody started that company. Somebody started that business. If you want to be that person to start it, why can't it be you? Now, some of you are like, listen, I already started my business, or I want to make my side hustle my main business, or I already know what I want to do. I just haven't done it yet. And that can be the hardest part, starting, just doing it. I get so many questions where people are like, how did you start your YouTube channel? What do you do about YouTube? How to grow on YouTube? How to be an influencer? How to be an Instagrammer? All these things. You have to just start. You have to just start. Put your foot to the floor, put your foot in front of the next foot, and keep on going and make the steps necessary to get to where you want to be. Same thing with entrepreneurship, same thing with your business. Again, today's video is just going to be kind of general chit chat, talking about the different avenues and how to be an entrepreneur and why you should be an entrepreneur and the benefits and the pros and cons. But in the next videos, there will be very specific steps on what you should do. I will be screen sharing, showing my LLC process, giving you tips and tricks on that. I'll be talking about finances. I'll be going real about how I budget, what I did to plan to leave my 9-to-5 job. I will also have a segment about influencing, about if you're interested in being a content creator. I have a whole video on that as well, because that is a business. You are an entrepreneur. If you have a YouTube channel and it's been growing and you're making money from it, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur. I'll be talking about business coaches and master classes and how to do research, because if there's one thing you need to do as an aspiring entrepreneur is research. Use Google to your advantage. Use YouTube. There are so many tutorials on a variety of different things. There are so many different things right at our fingertips, on our phones, on our computers, on our iPads, you name it. Things are accessible to us on a whole different level than like back in the day. So Google it. If you're not sure how to start a YouTube channel, Google it. A lot of times you all ask me questions, and sometimes I'm not trying to be rude by not answering, but like, Google it, or I already have a video on it. Look at people's playlists. Find your YouTubers or Instagram people that you trust and get the tips from them. There are so many different people on the internet that have valuable resources and sources and information that I myself am constantly learning from. I'm even in a YouTube masterclass right now, because you never can know enough. Social media forever changing, business is forever changing, life is forever changing. Look at us. A lot of people went a lot digital this year or worked remote, and they never thought they'd do that. So just always be willing to be a student, even if you're like, I'm not in school, girl, I am grown, I ain't been in school in a decade. You're always a student, because there's always something to learn, and that's going to set you apart and set your business apart from other people that are struggling or that didn't make it, okay? So of course I want to leave you guys with some practical steps for you to start to think about, what does your entrepreneurship journey look like? Is this really something you want to do? And basically everything we talked about in this video. So what I did is I created 3 different columns when I was really trying to figure out, okay, can I leave my 9-to-5? Can I really go full force into a business venture? Is that even something that I'm capable of? Is that something that I desire to have in my life? So I sat down and I created these 3 columns. In the first column, I talked about my skill sets. So I wrote down things like video production, photography, web design, graphic design, typist, consulting and employment litigation, practicing employment law, contract drafting, contract review, things like that. Just a variety of different skills that I have and that I like to do. In the second column, I talked about jobs that interest me. So I wrote down a variety of different things, whether that was still practicing law, maybe in a different area, whether that was corporate law, contract law, maybe being on the defense side with employment litigation, maybe focusing more on consulting rather than litigating. I talked about doing full-time YouTube, full-time content creating, being a freelancer, maybe helping with people with their video editing and things like that. I just wrote down a lot of different jobs that interested me. This is where researching can really be beneficial, because you never know what jobs are out there until you start looking. There were so many different jobs that I never would have even thought of, but by me doing some research, watching some YouTube videos, and doing a simple Google search, I really learned a lot about a variety of different jobs out there. Also jobs that match skill set that I had. In the third column, I wrote down my life and career goals. Now this column is extremely important, and you need to be 100% real and honest with yourself. For instance, I knew whenever the time is, when I have kids, I want to be able to go to their functions and events. My mom did an amazing job by doing that. Even though she was working a ton, she made it apparent and tried to be at everything that she could. And I want that flexibility. Also for me, my family is out of state, so I want to be able to travel and visit them whenever I can. Of course, during a time like this, not ideal, but I want to have that flexibility in my job and in my career. I also don't want to have a ceiling to the amount of money that I can make. Being an entrepreneur and owning my own business, I can gauge how much I can charge, how much I can make by the amount of work that I'm going to put in. At many 9-to-5 jobs, salary jobs, you name it, there is a ceiling. You can only make so much to a certain extent. Of course you can get raises, of course you can get bonuses, and of course you can continue to climb that corporate ladder. But at the end of the day, if you're on salary and you are working 70, 80 hours or 60 or 30, you're making the same amount. I didn't want that long term. So, which is why I was like, okay, you know what? Let me dip and dab into entrepreneurship and see how I like it. Also, something that may be appealing to you is being able to create your own schedule. There are some of us that work better in the morning, during the day, at night, etc. When you own your own business, you can do that. However, of course, there are pros and cons with that. Like I discussed earlier in the video, that it can be kind of hard to set your own schedule when you're not sure what your day-to-day looks like. But that still is a benefit for a lot of people to be able to say, hey, you know what? I'm not waking up until 10 because I know I'm most productive between 12 and 5 or whatever the case may be. So write your list down, set it out, make it plain so that you know exactly what you're looking for when it comes to your entrepreneurship journey. If you've made it to this point of the video, then there must be something you're interested in. Whether you have this long calling of being an entrepreneur, or maybe you thought about it and this video really solidified something for you. If that's the case, make sure you subscribe so you guys don't miss my next videos all about entrepreneurship. Don't forget to thumbs up this video if you're enjoying so far and you're excited about the entrepreneurship series. Also, leave me some comments down below. Let me know, are you an entrepreneur? Do you have a business? Do you have a side hustle? Do you still work a 9 to 5 and you're like, I just want to see what this is all about? Or let me know some questions or comments or concerns that you guys have in the comment section, because I will be doing some Q&A throughout every video that correlate with a specific topic. So if you're interested in business finances, saving, the legalese behind creating a business, self-care when it comes to business, because it's very important. You have to be in the right mental mindset, as well as being a content creator and the legalese behind that as well, then stay tuned to the series because there's something in here for you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so excited for this series. I hope you guys are too, and I will see you in my next video. Love you guys. Later.